the nerve supplement. And I am determined that I'm going to go back to that knee doctor and tell him I can heal nerves, because he wasn't my favorite person in the world. And so I am just trying to prove to them that this is healthy. And it is. It really is. It's taking a little longer, but I'm going to fight through that. Well, then Marla comes up with, how many of you are going to be on an IF? And I'm going, what is an IF? I'd never heard of such a thing. So I had to call Kelly up, and I'm like, what's IF? So she tells me it's intermittent fasting. And in that same process, at one of Kelly's gatherings, I talked to Marla because I had an issue with never being hungry. When I got onto the Slim and I was taking it all the time, no matter what time of the day, I never wanted to eat. And I knew my brain told me I had to eat in order to stay healthy. So then, but I'd just make a little bit of a bowl of cereal for supper. That would be it. Well, that's not real healthy. So we talked about it. And then Kelly Harstead comes up and she'd make a great intermittent fasting candidate because she can go these long hours without eating. So then I started to question that. Well, then we had that little contest there for a couple of weeks. Everybody's on intermittent fasting. Well, I did that too. And I went on the 16-8, 16 hours of fasting, 8 hours segment of time that I could eat. And in that 2 weeks, I had lost 10 pounds. And I was excited. And so since July 1 until just the other day when we started this second intermittent, fasting, I had lost 15 pounds. Now, it's not a lot in those 5 months. I would like to see bigger numbers, but I'm not pushing that as hard as I am pushing to heal my insides, and especially, and I did have an accident just a week ago, Saturday. I had a very bad fall out of my driveway, and I smashed up my good leg. And so consequently, and I pulled the hamstring, and I tore my hamstring in the back of my leg. And of course, they don't do surgery for that. It just needs to heal. And I thought, okay, out comes a bottle of ease. We're going to just double up on that again. And within the week, I already have no pain. I do, if I turn a certain way though, I do have some pulling, which is wrong yet, but I can tell that I've already feel much, much better. I'm really desperately waiting for Plexus to get the Ease cream again so that I can have more of that, because you can't get it right now. So I'm using another type of cream that was very good that one of our other team members, Marieke Van Straten, told me about it, and that has helped a lot. So I have used the team. I think we have a fabulous team of very knowledgeable people like Leah and Marla and Carl and Kelly, all of those ladies. And I use them. I go to them, and Kelly Hulse, I'm forever texting her doing something like that. And I feel so dumb, but I'm a very visual person, so I need to see it. So Kelly was very good about sending me all the literature that Plexus has. And I went to the eye doctor yesterday, which is an eye specialist, because I am going blind on both my eyes, but I have macular degeneration. But when I went yesterday, which is a prime example, and I was able to tell them it was because of Plexus, my eyes have stayed the same now for a year and a half. And he said the other day, he said, I don't need to see you now for 6 months. And so I won't go back until June to see the eye surgeon or the eye specialist, a retina specialist. And then I will see my own eye doctor every year. And then I just need to get my glasses beefed up a little bit. And he said, your eyes are in much better condition than they were even 6 months ago. So I'm excited about that. So that's my story. I don't live without Plexus. I will never live without Plexus. I upped my ProBio 5 when I had that injury. And some of the products I take are well, I said the E's and all of those. I do have a really bad case of eczema that I had this year that I hadn't had for over 50 years. And I got the body cream. Marla was talking about the body cream at one of the meetings. So I ordered that and I put that on. Within 2 days, the eczema was gone. So I'm a firm believer in that now too. And I take the Mega X. I take the X Factor Plus, the vitamin. The Mega X I started, and I asked Kelly how much to take for that. It's because my cholesterol was a little off. And she said, this is going to level that off. So I take that. I take the Balance every night before supper, and because of the sugars in there. And I tried real hard, ladies, and everyone out there, they have a really great product, the Active, but there's just something in there. And because I've had shingles in my mouth, down into my stomach, I have a real sensitivity to anything that leaves a bad taste in my mouth or a different taste and the texture, and I just can't take that. So I have to stay with the Slim Hunger Control, and so it may take me a little longer. And I can tell that I'm not taking that other anymore because I do find that I get a little more tired in the afternoons. And so my little guy that I take care of, he has a nap. Maybe I'll have a nap too, but not every day. Today I didn't nap, and I'm dressed like I'm in Christmas outfits because I did have a singing gig tonight. I went and sang and spoke at another meeting. So Merry Christmas to everybody. That's my story.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. It's really amazing to hear all of the things that you had struggled with your health and that have really improved, and you're able to do things that you weren't able to. I know a while ago you were working on upping your walking distance, right? And I think with the ease you were taking, the inflammation in your knees had helped, had kind of gone away for you to walk longer distances as well. So, okay, so next is Sharon. She's going to share with us her story.
Hello, my name is Sharon Opdahl, and my story began when my doctor took me off my hormone replacement medication a couple years ago, and I started having UTIs really often. And as soon as we kind of got those to stop, I still felt like I had a UTI, but I didn't. And I was feeling like I had to urinate all the time, and I couldn't sleep at night, couldn't fall asleep. It was just miserable. And I was talking about that to, well, my doctor recommended that I get on a probiotic, and she recommended an over-the-counter probiotic and cranberry supplement. So I was doing that. It still was not taking care of the problem. So I was talking about this with someone at our church choir, and Kelly Hulst overheard me, and she said, we need to talk. So she mentioned to me about the Plexus products, that they might be helpful to me. And I think it was probably January, almost a year ago, when we talked. And I think I started taking the triplex things in probably February or something like that. But on my chart, you know, on your My chart, it said, the doctor's note said that it was and I won't say this correctly, but interstitial cystitis or something like that was the condition that she said I had. So I researched that on the web and Googled it and tried to figure out, you know, they say don't eat this, don't eat that, so on and so forth. But you feel like you have to go to the bathroom all the time. You can't sleep. So I started taking the triplex, doing the triplex, the pink drink, the BioCleanse, and the ProBio 5. And Kelly Hulst was excellent about guiding me through, you know, how many to take and when, and so on and so forth. And things started getting better, and all of a sudden I was not, you know, I was able to fall asleep at night. I was able to sleep longer. I still have an overactive bladder issue that I take Myrbetriq for, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to get off of that medication at some point too, because I think over time I'm seeing the products are working better. And it wasn't immediate. It's just taking a length of time for them to get my body healthy. I also added the Vital Biome and the X Factor Plus to get the nutrition. I was taking a multivitamin liquid supplement, and I stopped that and replaced it with the Plexus multivitamin X Factor Plus. And I added the Vital Biome just because of my issues that I was having. I thought it couldn't hurt to do that. So I've dropped off a couple, 2, 3 other things that I used to take and have replaced them with the Plexus products, and I've seen really good results. Also, constipation has been my life story. I've always battled that, and I have no problems with that anymore. And then I've also had, for about the last 3 years, dry eye. All of a sudden in August, when it's really hot and humid, I'd wake up with my eyes stuck shut. And I talked to my eye doctor, and he said, you need to come in. You think something's going on. And he said, if you got dry eye. And all of a sudden, I started taking the Plexus Ease, because I also have a little bit of arthritis. And I also have a herniated disc that bothers me. So I take the Ease for that. All of a sudden, my dry eye just went away. I haven't needed my dry eye medication for about 6 months. I went for my annual exam a couple of weeks ago, and I said, tell me what you're seeing, because I don't need these drops anymore. And he said, yeah, your tear film is fine. So I think the Ease, I believe dry eye is because of inflammation, and the Ease product, I believe, helps with inflammation, which is also arthritis pain and all those things. So I take 2 E's in the morning and 2 E's at night. And if I've overdone it, like with physical activity, sometimes I'll add a little more E's before I go to bed. But I haven't needed ibuprofen or Advil or any of those pain relief products that I used to live on because of my pain from my disc and my arthritis issues. So that has been really great, because I don't like taking all those products that aren't good for you, and taking a natural product makes me much happier. Also, I have a genetic skin condition called ichthyosis vulgaris, and your skin is really scaly and dry. It gets a lot worse in the winter. And therefore, I've always liked being in the sun, and the heat and the humidity really is helpful to my body. So anyway, when I started taking these Plexus products, my daughter-in-law mentioned to me this summer, she goes, what are you doing? She said, your skin looks so good. And I thought, well, it's just summer, and it always is better in the summer. Well, in September, I sat next to a friend at a funeral who also has the same condition. And she said, and she's also taking Plexus, and she said to me, has your skin gotten better? And she showed me a picture on her phone of her before Plexus leg and her after Plexus leg, and it was like night and day. And I said, that's why my daughter-in-law said my skin looked better. I didn't put 2 and 2 together until she said that. And I thought, okay, this is adding up. And then now with winter, I don't have that flaking. My skin is, the condition's still there, but the symptoms are so much better. So I'm really noticing my skin is just way better. And then the other thing is, I used to have really oily skin on my face. So every time I go to the bathroom at work, I'd stop, I'd blot my face with paper towel to get the oil off of it. And all of a sudden, I don't have oily skin anymore. In fact, my skin is dry. And in October, when I went for my haircut, my gal who cuts my hair, she said, what's going on here? She goes, your hair is like breaking off in the back, and like right up in the back. And she says, like something's, and I said, well, I said, what do you think it could be? And she said, well, thyroid. And I said, well, I'm on thyroid medication. I've been on thyroid medication for years. she said, I think maybe you should have your thyroid checked. So I messaged my doctor and she said, yeah, let's check it. Well, here I was over medicating my thyroid. My thyroid was healthier because of the Plexus products I was taking. I was able to back off my thyroid medication. I need to have it rechecked again, but I think that's what's causing my dry skin on my face as well. So until we get that thyroid medication leveled out, I think that's going to be possibly an issue. But I'm looking forward to the day that I might not even have to take the thyroid medication anymore, because I think the Plexus products over time is healing my thyroid. So that's a really big thing for me. And then I'm taking the Mega X because I had been taking an Omega with another company, and I just decided to stick with all Plexus products. So I'm taking that as well. And then my husband has some arthritis in his fingers from piano tuning, repetitive motion on his few fingers, and so he's taking the Ease. And I did find the Ease cream when a couple days ago. I was able to get it ordered, so you might check to see if it's available for you. We haven't tried that yet, so I'm anxious to try that. And then my husband just was diagnosed with diabetes this last year, and so he's taking the block, and I'm going to try and get him started on the balance as well. So I think that is my story, and I appreciate so much Kelly Hall. She's been just wonderful. Like Shirley said, you can contact her anytime, and she answers questions, and she's really helped me figure this all out. And I'm just so excited to be using natural products that aren't harmful to my body to help my body heal.
Thank you for sharing. That's the list of things that you have that have really changed is long and really amazing too, to hear how that's changed. Maybe I misheard you, but with your like the skin changes that you've had, is that through the taking the gut health products or the skincare Joyome?
I think it's the triplex and the multivitamin. I did order the Joyome last month because I got points for doing it, but I'm trying to use up something else that I've already got enough of, and then I'll try the Joyome. I did also last month ordered the collagen, and I did take that, and I just ran out, but I had some old collagen from another company that I want to use up, and then I'll start taking that again too.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think too, once you learn a lot, right? When you start digging into gut health and how much that affects your skin, all over the place, and different things. So
yeah, and then I was going to say, surely my eye doctor talked about the macular degeneration too, and he said my eyes look so healthy, and he said it has to do with the vitamins, the colored vegetables that you're eating, that is helpful to your eyes, and so I can see why you improved your eye health from taking the Plexus stuff.
yeah, that's really awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing. And our next is Diane and Mike. If you guys want to go ahead and share with us your story.
Hello,
Good evening.
from Wheatland, Wyoming. We haven't always lived here. We came from the Red River Valley ourselves. I grew up between Fargo and Grand Forks and had a really good, clean diet growing up, a lot of farm fresh and garden fresh, and really didn't know any health challenges at all until when we first got married. I had repeated urinary tract infections, which means I had repeated antibiotic treatments, and I didn't know really anything about probiotics or anything like that. And I fell into Candida yeast overgrowth because I actually was on antibiotic treatment for probably a year and a half. And I was finding out that I had just like serious brain fog. There were less and less foods I could eat. it was just really a problem. And so I began reading everything I possibly could about health and nutrition and how to get rid of candida overgrowth. And so for 3 years, I went on this back-to-back diet for anti-candida and just eliminated a lot of things out of my diet. And it got better at that point. But the other thing that was going on was that I was also abusing alcohol during those years, and that, needless to say, really was hard on my health too. And about that time, I made a decision to follow Christ, and that made a huge difference in just my everything, including and especially what I put into my body. And so I began the journey of just really being careful about what I ate and everything. And so I've been kind of on a holistic journey for a lot of years, but we'll fast forward now 20 years. And we, both Mike and I, began seeing a naturopath doctor, and he did for the first time something I had never done before, and it was a colon cleanse, because with his muscle testing that he used, my gut health was showing that it was suffering. And so I was doing some cleanses and things once a year, and it was extensive and inconvenient and life-stopping. And that's one thing I would like to say about Plexus, is that your daily cleansing. I mean, there's the initial, when you first start triplex, that you might have some more serious symptoms, and we try to ease into it. And it really wasn't very difficult for me, maybe because I've been very conscientious about what I've eaten for many, many years. But it's hard not to compare. And I think it's beneficial to compare that. It's so much better to use Plexus products as some of these other ones that I had done, because it wasn't life interrupting nearly as much. My most recent health challenges, though, began in my early 50s, whenever I was beginning menopause. I've had 7 children, and everything's been really well with my hormones and childbearing and all of that, and I'm thankful for that. But I had some really troubling symptoms like depression, some mild depression, poor sleep habits. I mean, hot flashes. The frequency and the intensity was horrible. I had also gained about 20 pounds in a couple of years, and I had developed some arthritis. And that brings us up to almost recently, whenever I had met up with Connie Birch down in Arizona. We were visiting down there, and I hadn't really spoken with her since, very much at all since high school. We'd lost touch, but she just seemed really excited and very positive about life. And her journey seemed to be just so similar to mine, where she was really active in her faith journey. And I began sharing with her some of my symptoms, and that I was really feeling like it was time to see a rheumatologist and someone for hormone therapy. And we live in rural Wyoming, where we have some doctors, just a couple miles away, but really the better doctors that I would probably have seen would have been at least 75 miles away. So it would have been a big time commitment in the wintertime, very inconvenient, because we get harsh winters here. And so I just really, and the fact that I really try to stay away from prescriptions or any of that. But I just felt like I was there, I was ready. And when Connie had mentioned to me about triplex and how she had just such positive effects, and that she had heard, even though she hadn't experienced these symptoms, that she had heard that these can help the symptoms I was experiencing, that I should give it a try. And I'm like, absolutely. I just couldn't get it out of my mind. I started in March. I had seen her in February. I started in March. And I was really pretty sure that, because they have this 2-month guarantee, I'm like, this probably won't work. I'm going to get 2 free months of supplements, right? Well, by a month into it, I loved it. Just a lot of positive changes, as far as I I wasn't gaining any more weight. I think I was feeling more energy pretty much right away. It's already been several months. I can't really remember the initial. I remember my tummy, being like really flatter than it had been for a long time. Like I was looking younger, and my dark cloud days had diminished pretty much right away and have never returned. I mean, they have really affected my mood in a positive way. I had also been experiencing a lot of constipation, and was taking some magnesium supplement that was like a $25 bottle that I would go through every month. And I was able to go off all of everything I was taking, and just stuck with the triplex. I've also added in the E's because of the joint pain that I experience really on a regular basis. And I like to be really active. I mean, we played racquetball, and we like to hike and ride bike aggressively, and I just don't want to grow old. And so Ease is helping me just stay active, which I absolutely love. So that's pretty much my story. I can't help but to be telling other people. I know there's so much more that I need to know about the products, and Connie is helping me and the others in the upline. And I really appreciate all of your support in the journey, and I'm excited about the future.
And for me, I started in May. Diane was telling me, and I've always been kind of a junk food junkie. I like sweets, and trying to lose weight didn't work very well with that. And I would play hours of racquetball, and I would do all kinds of things and never really be able to lose any weight. Mm-hmm. And that's mostly why I started these products. I do the triplex. And since I started in May, without any rigorous physical activity, I do hike the mountains a lot when I'm hunting, and we ride, and we do some hiking and that, but nothing aggressive like I used to do. But since I've started in May, I've lost 3 inches off of my waist and 20 pounds. And I don't crave the sugars like I used to. And so I eat better, I eat less. I do that, try finish my eating at night by 7 o'clock and go till 10, 11 o'clock the next morning without eating anything. And just the whole regiment of what Plexus has brought into our lives, I guess, has really helped me lose that weight that I've always desired to lose, but never been able to. And as Diane mentioned, I was able to retire early, and I have a lot of life ahead of me, and I want it to be a good life. And it all starts with your health. So with that, we're looking forward to the future. And we, like Diane has always said too, and we talked about this, you can pay now or pay later. And a lot of the pay later stuff, you don't want to go there.
Yep.
So that's pretty much our story.
Wow, that's really awesome. Thank you so much for both sharing with us all. And I like that you said that pay now or pay later, right? I think sometimes we forget about that because sometimes it's easier to feel like we just don't want to deal with it. But it's totally worth it because you feel better and you get to do the things that you really want to do, and for a longer time.
Well, one doctor visit with some problems can supply a year of your Plexus.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, that is for sure. So I'm going to hand it over to Marla to kind of close this up for the night. And again, thank you so much. It was really inspirational and motivating to hear all of your stories and just how much these products and just gut health, like learning about gut health, really is important for us all to keep learning and keep doing.
Thank you, everybody. Oh, it's just such a joy to listen to these stories. And I think back, it was 5.5 years ago that I started, and I didn't know what a probiotic was. I knew nothing about gut health. And, if you're watching, whoever invited you, I hope that you really just lean into learning and being open-minded about something different if you're not used to the holistic mindset and healing from the inside out. Plexus has products that really synergistically work so well together. You've heard everybody talk about the triplex. The triplex, tri meaning three, has 3 products that address your gut health, your candida overgrowth, your blood sugar balance, and the inflammation. I'm like my word wasn't coming. It gets to the cellular inflammation. So inflammation is, the silent killer, they call it, right? Everything starts there. And the imbalance of your blood sugars starts to create that in our bodies. And I used to think of inflammation as a sprained ankle, right? Not the cellular level. And when you get to the cellular level, you eliminate a lot of symptoms. And then when your blood sugar is balanced, your hormones are balanced. And the ingredients, like we have a pink drink that's in this triplex. There's 2 different formulas, have prebiotics in it, all natural ingredients, no artificial sweeteners or colors. It's beetroot extract for the red coloring. But there's chromium polynicotinate that actually is in the pink drink that's what helps balance your blood sugar. And that's critical in our bodies. The chromium is a trace element that we get from food, but our foods are depleted from a lot of the natural nutrients that we should get and minerals. And so a lot of us are walking around with lack of chromium. And chromium is essential for insulin to work properly in our bodies. So Plexus has studied and has scientists and doctors that have created the best products that can address so many issues. I mean, all of our stories are so different. I know anything, if you think of, you go to the doctor, you get labeled with something. If it ends in itis, you know what that means, right? That means inflammation. And so if you have a label like that and have a prescription, there is another way to handle it, so talk to whoever invited you, and just really, I hope that you lean into learning. The gut-brain connection is real. Our gut microbiome is where, most of our health is created or causing sickness in us. And also emotional health. If we have blood sugar instability, that also creates, the inflammation. And then we get on antibiotics, and that depletes our good gut bacteria. So then we end up walking around with a compromised gut health, which they call gut dysbiosis. And we won't learn that probably when you go to the traditional doctor's office, and that's not their fault, because we, nothing against the medical community, but it's just very different. So our triplex, like I said, is something I really hope you lean into, because there's magnesium in one of the products. It's just 2 capsules, so it's 2 different bottles. The pink drink, one is a magnesium supplement called BioCleanse, and that addresses so many things in your body, because if you have candida issues, you're lacking magnesium. And if you're lacking magnesium, your gut can't create serotonin. It just all snowballs. So 80% of your immunity lies in your gut health, which is huge. We need to build our immune health. And with Probio 5 being the 3rd product in the triplex, that is the probiotic on steroids. It has digestive enzymes, antifungal, plus 5 strains in there that repopulate. But what it does is it gets rid of the bad. And there is a digestive enzyme that is very unique and specific to breaking down the outer shell of the candida that you can't find in any other products, any other probiotics that I've seen. So our products are simple to fit into your lifestyle, like Diane had shared. It's not life altering or life stopping. Our vitamin is the best vitamin, has methylated folate, like I said, all natural. So we just have something for everybody. We have holistic skincare, protein shakes. We have pain management with that Shirley had referenced also, and then our skincare, holistic skincare, like I said. So we have something for everybody. So I hope that you lean into learning and reach out to whoever is sharing this on their wall or invited you to watch. And I just want to thank everybody for sharing your stories tonight. It's just such a blessing to hear them. So thanks so much for joining. Bye.
Okay.